Hi, this is Kim, and in this video I'm talking about, um, or I guess not really talking about, but more just sharing um, something that I was looking at today in terms of like how I noticed that I have a tendency to um, always look on the dark side of things in terms of like being, overall pessimistic with myself and with others, where I tend to only focus on the flaws and the mistakes and the things that aren't good enough and the things that should be better. And, I realized how also in relation to my parents specifically, there's like a lot of blame, which is just part of the mind consciousness system. Like that's just kind of what happens. You grow up, you blame your parents for everything that went wrong. Where it's just these thoughts of and that they should have taught me how to do this, or they should have raised me in a different way, or just kind of holding things against them, and holding against them that they didn't um, support me more to, for instance, be a more confident individual, which is an issue that I've always had personally in my life, is that I'm not very confident and that I have a lot of anxieties and fears and insecurities, which, yes, is something that I copied from my parents, because of that's how they raised me, obviously, because that's all they've ever known, because that was who they were. So obviously they can't, kind of raise me any differently than what exists inside them. So I just noticed that pattern of blame in relation to my parents. So I was like, all right, how about instead of focusing only on the bad, which obviously isn't going to help in any way, because at the end of the day, it's like we're all victims of our upbringing, or we're all the result of our upbringing. So I can't blame anybody really. At the end of the day, I just got to sort of take responsibility for myself. And we all do, because we're all equal. So, how about instead of blaming my parents for all the things that they apparently did wrong, or didn't do but should have done, and all their apparent flaws and mistakes and shortcomings, how about I actually have a look at what did they do right? Like what did I actually copy or learn from my parents that was good, and that is something I should be appreciating. So how about we go from hammering down on the bad and really looking at things in a pessimistic kind of way with disappointment. How about being a little more appreciative and finding those things that I should be appreciative of? So from there, I just started to have a look at, okay, well, all right, sort of placing my parents inside of me, or um, placing my childhood inside of me, or my relationship with my parents, and having a look at, what are the sort of traits, qualities, expressions, things that I did copy and learn from my parents that are actually pretty cool and that I do appreciate. And what came up was like a lot. I'm still not actually done with looking at it, because there's actually a lot of points that I saw that I copied from my parents or learned from them that are actually really cool and really awesome and great, and things I never appreciated before, because I was always busy focusing only on the bad and the negative, and the flaws and mistakes, etc., that I never learned to appreciate what's actually good. And I do it with others, but also with myself. I have that tendency to only look at, what should I still change and improve, and what is not good enough yet, and et cetera, instead of seeing or looking at, okay, well, what are some of the ways in which I exist that are already pretty cool, where I can maybe take it from there and expand or build on that. And you know, it did give me quite an appreciation for my parents, but also more importantly, what it showed me is that actually, you know, when it comes to not just the bad, but also very much the good, it's like everything about me is truly a programming. You know, like nothing about me is actually truly unique or special or even me, because even those things that I always believed is just me, I actually learned and copied from my parents. I just never recognized it because I never recognized the good about them. So I never saw the connection, and I never realized that, you know, all those good qualities that I believe are so unique and special to who I am, I did actually just copy all of that from my parents. And it's all essentially pre-programmed. I'm just a copy of my parents, and which obviously means they're also a copy of their parents, etc., etc. And yeah, that I'm not special and I'm not unique, and that literally from the moment I came into this world, I was like a blank slate that got programmed and that got written on, and that I just have never been aware of it. So it's only with looking into it in this specific way, you know, kind of supporting myself to see more of my parents, that I was also able to see more of myself in terms of how exactly everything about me is a programming, is, you know, just not unique or special at all. Which was kind of eye-opening. So, yeah, I guess I should share a little bit about what I realized, for example, with my parents, and what I realized is something I really need to appreciate because it's really cool. Um, well, one of the things that stood out is that, you know, my parents, in a way, I feel like my childhood was very cocooned. You know, like my parents, the both of them were overall, if I'd have to describe my general sort of perspective on them, is that both of them are kind of sensitive beings, and they lean more to the sort of insecure side, where they will more let others take the stage, and they will be more giving to others, and um, you know, they'll be more humble, and they'll be very sensitive to other people's needs, and which meant that also in relation to me and my brother, their children, they actually made sure that when it came to abuse, like physical punishment and things like that, that they, you know, they were actually very stable, and you know, even with their emotions, they were very emotionally stable, the both of them. They were very sort of considerate within that, you know, not doing unto others what they did not want to be done unto themselves. And so that created almost like a cocoon, um, you know, sort of a safe haven, um, that provided a sense of freedom in a way for me to just sort of be myself to an extent. Yeah, that's like overall what stood out for me. Um, yeah, so I definitely recommend this particular exercise just to, you know, expand your horizons a little bit, to assist and support yourself to start recognizing your parents within and as you, and to start realizing how much of you is in fact a program. You know, how little we are in fact special and unique, and to start seeing that programming, you know, the bad as well as the good. Um, yeah, okay. That's it for me for tonight. Thanks for watching. Bye.